Hello everyone. Today we'll discuss how to customize the appearance of control elements to match the overall theme of a report in Looker Studio. Let's start with the concept that a custom report theme is used when it's necessary to highlight a specific company style within which these reports are used. For example, this might include maintaining corporate colors, fonts, and so on. Standard themes aren't always suitable in these cases. Let's go over the practical steps to change the report theme and customize our controls for better user perception. Go to the Theme and Layout settings. Here we have a choice of templates we can use, but we can also customize and create our own theme. I want to emphasize that we can also use the extract function to pull a theme from an image. If you have a logo with your corporate colors, Looker Studio can analyze the image and suggest using those colors. But today, we'll focus on basic settings, so let's proceed to the customization settings. Here, we have several options for what we can configure. Starting with the general report background, which we can set as default. I would start the style setup with color selection. The entire palette of the standard theme is presented here, and I suggest choosing colors that relate to our company. For example, we might highlight shades of purple and pink. Once you've selected the primary colors, I recommend keeping all additional colors in a gray theme so they don't interfere with the other colors in the palette. As a result, our report colors will stay within the set palette. Let's add a touch of blue and adjust a few shades of gray. This way, we have a color set that can be used for building reports. As you can see, our report has already adjusted to these colors. Now let's return to the general theme settings. We can set a default text style for series order or dimension values. For dimension values, it's necessary to assign a color to each characteristic or parameter. If we don't want to do this, series order is typically used, which automatically adjusts the colors. If we have fonts that match the company style, we can also apply them to the report. The next important setting is Chart Title Color. Here, we choose how our control elements and charts in the report will appear. You can select a shade or leave it transparent. You can also highlight the border color, though this is rarely used. Next, we can set the border shadow for the entire theme. The default is when we choose depending on how we set up our controls or diagrams. We can also choose Yes, and then it will highlight all of our elements. Or we can choose No, and then all of our elements will be shadowless. We can leave it at the default for now. Moving on, we can adjust accent styles, text box styles, and a couple of other settings below, like component grid style, positive and negative change style, and text style for navigation. For example, we can apply our selected colors to navigation using the colors we've chosen as the default. Thus, it has changed. As we can see, our theme is preliminarily set up, and our control elements align with the report's theme. For example, if we want the controls to match the report theme while still standing out, we can customize them separately. To do this, go to the control settings and select the style. Here, we can change the background to one of the colors that suit our theme. Additionally, if we prefer not to show a shadow, we can remove it. It's very convenient to configure several controls at once by selecting them together. When they are selected, we can style them simultaneously, which is especially useful when working with drop-down lists and date ranges, allowing us to fine-tune them in our report. This way, we ensure that our controls match the report theme and corporate colors, but they still stand out so users won't overlook them and will actively use them in reports. I'd also like to mention that with the theme configured, we can similarly customize our charts, which will adapt accordingly. By default, the color options we initially selected will be suggested. But for instance, if we want to avoid excessive color variety in our charts, we can choose a single color option. As you can see, the report becomes more visually appealing. It's also worth noting that if we experiment with our control elements and find that the display doesn't quite suit us, we can always revert to the default theme by pressing this button. This way, our report will return to the initial settings we configured at the beginning. That's all for today. Try working with report themes. They're a great help, simplifying tasks and effectively highlighting the company's corporate style. Give it a like if you enjoyed the video. If you still have any questions, ask them in the comments.